As humans squabbled, natural disasters intensified, volcanic eruptions leveled cities, the sea rose and began to consume the planet. Humanity experienced a mass extinction event. Soon the surface of the Earth became a barren wasteland, completely inhospitable to life. The surviving humans appointed scientists. The rise of civilization again. The surviving humans appointed scientists to lead their society, believing that science would provide a wiser path forward. Fully empowered, those scientists took on the momentous task of establishing a sustainable ecosystem within the cavern. They dubbed the new society Alternia and began the process of recreating the Earth that they had once known. Oh, the story was great. Kind of crazy. Wasn't really expecting like Grizz to be like an actual freaking bear.
Yeah.
I actually got the bad ending on accident. I'm glad I did. That way I don't have to go look it up.
Yeah. It's
I'll
fucking grim. It's like the Octosens and bad ending.
Thank you for the follow. The only thing I'm sad about is that it's over and I gotta wait for side order.
Okay, I see what you put there. Radio. Finally.
I'll look at the last entry in just a second, Spuddy. I want to go for the whole thing. So this like tells about the story of like why humanity is
Humans died.
no more.
Yep.
Of course,
And
not
also,
even scientists are immune to nostalgia. The humans began constructing large-scale 3D printing operations. This allowed them to create some of humanity's favorite artifacts. A new sky. As life in Alternia moved forward, one scientist discovered a new way to make liquid crystals from the bodily fluid of squids. These new crystals could change color in response to faint and fleeting electrical signals emitted by living organisms. To put that into more human terms, these crystals could read minds and output imagery that matched the viewer's innermost thoughts. There's nothing to scroll down on.
yeah. Oh, you put A.
Human. Oh shit, there is
No,
more.
let me scroll down.
Okay,
Yup.
there we go. Error against the odd commuted to the 42,791 to 1 human survived. Therefore, the planet was nearly completely inhospitable to life. These survivors found shelter in the vast cavern created by cataclysm volcanic eruption. The cavern provided shelter, and a massive pool of accumulated seawater provided life. For while humanity was being decimated, marine life flourished. All manner of squid, octopus, and jellyfish had propagated in the deep. The surviving humans had found a source of sustenance. Additionally, they created a robust information management system designed to deeply record all humanity's processed knowledge, such as a system would naturally require a sort of record keeper, a computer that could autonomously. Oh no, you good, Jack. You can say whatever's on your mind. I don't mind. Pretty sure those artists that follow me already unfollowed me because I didn't reply back to them. No, not that one. No, there's some other people. Never mind. They created robust information management system. Orca, also known as the omniscient recording computer of Alternia. Human enchanted with the new invention and mass recruiting the crystals. Eventually they lined the walls and roofs of Alternia. As the crystals absorbed the collective desires of those in Alternia, they assumed the appearance of the sky and has been see on the surface long ago. At last, after 25 years of being confined beneath the earth, humanity was once again up and see the sky. Humanity's final day. Years passed with prosperity. The population of Alternia grew like a rising tide. The scientists, now elders of their kind, believed they had done all they could to advance the civilization of Alternia. They began selecting new leaders who succeed them, entrusting to them the world they helped build. Humanity's new leaders inherited both the brilliance of their predecessors and their unquenchable thirst for innovation. This new generation, born and raised in deep Alternia, would prove to be every bit of the match of those they were to succeed. They soon grew restless at the sight of the liquid crystal sky, believing they deserved to behold the reality that existed outside the cavern. The elders who knew that what awaited outside the safe haven of Alternia issued stern warnings to the brash young scientists. Nevertheless, the young scientists pressed on with their plan, the construction of a massive rocket ship to escape Alternia. Sadly, as the boosters were ignited for the first time during a launch test, tragedy struck. The energy from the rocket booster overloaded the cavern liquid crystal. The violent and terrible chain reaction ensued. Without warning, the stone walls of the cavern began to shatter, raining debris down upon humanity. Alternia, the last civilization once prospered humanity, was no more, and those who escaped the carnage would soon follow into death. So what, like, they were trying to escape Alternia with a rocket, and then the cavern just killed everyone that was left? Fresh intelligence awakens. As the inner walls of Alternia collapse, thousands of tons of rocks and liquid crystals plunge into the waters below. As these crystals washed to fro among the flotsam and jetsam of the humanity's former colony, they broke into microscopic fragments. Because they had repeatedly soared and reflected humanity's wishes over so many years, the crystals retained those feelings. Little by little, the squids, octopuses, and assorted sea creatures that thrived in the waters of Alternia absorbed these crystals into their bodies. This process continued until one day the marine organism began to feel something. Something fresh. These fresh impulses bore a striking resemblance to the humanity's passive desire to return to the Earth's surface. Spurred by these impulses and whatever else may have been floating in the polluted waters, the sea creatures began to evolve rapidly. Each species developed pulmonary respiration, mobility, and other traits consistent with the land-dwelling creatures. They began to adapt. Their intelligence grew at a remarkable pace across generations. Some species even gained extraordinary camouflage capabilities. A point of no return arrived. The sea creatures of Alternia set foot on dry land and never looked back. Like humans, they strove for the surface. Of course, survival on land was harsh, but the creatures were persistent. Soon they found the tunnels that humans had used to escape the apocalypse. With their path forward now clear, these fresh, fledgling beings left the ruins of Alternia behind and set sights on the surface world. The land of fresh beginnings. The beginnings that emerged from the waters soon emerged from the caverns of Alternia itself. From there, they flourished quickly. It wasn't long before they explored every corner of the world. These epical events gave great significance to the crater above Alternia and its surrounding territories, now referred to as the Splatlands. The region would, from that point on, be known as the Land of Fresh Beginnings. Among the creatures that now thrive on the surface, these newly evolved beings have scattered themselves across the globe, even gave rise to the distant cultures and unique ways of life. Out of all the species now roaming the earth, squids and octopuses seem to distinguish themselves by intelligence and fresh vibes, so to speak. It wasn't long before they became the apex of the planet. Now it must fast forward a bit. 5,000 years later, a peculiar individual was born. This squid quickly rose to fame in the Splatlands due to some unique characteristics. Yes, this individual was embraced as a prophet, gifted with numerous revelations that shared among their fellow squids. It was another turning point for squid kind. During this period, the foundations for modern cephaloid civilization were laid. The individual squid is now widely known in Subway as the propagator of the modern-day inkling. So, like, they never actually turned into like what inklings and octolings are today. According to this, they still look like just normal squids, except they just walk. They just walk. Okay, here's the big one. Yeah. Return to the mammalians. Recall for a moment the first apocalypse that devastated the human race. So it's this. So what? Their technology just caused natural disasters and just killed everyone. Yeah, obviously it's about Grizz. Those who escaped into the caverns of Alternia were not the sole survivors. There were others who escaped by a giant rocket ship, the Ark Polaris, launched in the nick of time. This ship was laden with many of Earth's species that had been placed in a cold sleep. The mission was simple find another planet to replace the Earth. Considering the circumstances of the launch, the Polaris had a smooth voyage until it reached the edge of the solar system. It was at that point that debris struck the vessel, damaging its navigation system. The crew was able to turn the ship around and head back towards Earth, but the effort was in vain. There was not enough fuel to attempt a landing. The Ark Polaris drifted aimlessly for 10,000 years. Eons passed. The once stable orbit of the Polaris decayed until time. Decayed over time until the ship found itself in the escapable pull of the Earth's gravity. Re-entry was not kind to its inhabitants. All perished, save one. Bear number 03, an experimental subject that retained consciousness within its cold hibernation, survived. For 12,000 years he had dreamed and plotted. Fully awake, Bear 03 came to a terrible realization. He had not landed on a new planet at all. He was back on Earth, and yet it was not an Earth he knew. This Earth, it seemed, was dominated by sea creatures, not a single mammal to be found. In this course of his search for even a single fellow mammal, Bear 03 used navigational equipment from the wreckage of the Ark Polaris to discover Alternia. It was a wasteland, of course, but a few of the liquid crystals that had once covered the walls and ceiling remained. With knowledge built during his 1,000 years of dreaming, he repaired some of the Alternia's facilities and began researching the crystals. This research bore fruit from Bear 03, compounded some of the liquid crystals with his own fur. The experiment created an entirely new substance with one terrifying property. It could transform any living creature into a mammal. Bear 03 realized the implications immediately. He could restore the planet to a mammalian paradise. He began stockpiling fuzzy ooze, as he called it, within Alternia's still intact rocket. For such a venture, he would require the acquisition of thousands of golden eggs. Oh, fuck. So this is what you meant when you said he used us. Oh my god.
Yup.
For such a venture, he would require the acquisition of thousands of golden eggs. These were used in the creation of the fuzzy ooze because he wanted the
Mhm.
the salmons are kind of furry, so that's why the eggs were used for that.
Also, guess what? I found the ability change thing.
Right, let me finish this. I'm probably gonna put this on YouTube, like reading this whole thing out. Although the exact details have never been recorded in my memory banks, but Bear03 had a plan. He founded a corporation that would go on to employ locals to collect his golden eggs under the name Grizzco Industries. Mr. Grizz, as he was now known, would pay handsomely for them. With Fuzzy Ooze production peaking thanks to the assistance of unexpected inklings and octolings, Mr. Grizz took the final steps to set his plan into motion. The rocket was loaded. It wouldn't be long now. That's crazy. So we just been helping him this whole time.
Yep.
My mind is blown. Which songs, Jack? That's nuts.